Too much, Jesse? Or sometimes, yeah, if it's not in the right spot, it hurts. So for this alignment class today, ZMY Align, we'll be focusing on just that. We're going to spend some time in a lot of standing postures today because we're going to look for the Tadasana alignment in all of our postures. Before we get there, I just wanted to read a little something that's in BKS Iyengar's book. It's called Light on Yoga. In this book, you know, a lot of people look at this book as being one of the, you know, the Bibles of yoga, because he goes through each classic posture and gives details on how to do it, why to do it. He gives an introduction that goes through all 8 limbs. And so since we're focusing on self-study this month, I wanted to share what he has to say about that. First, there's a quote that I really like that he said, alignment in the body equals alignment in the mind. And if I could add to that from my own personal experience, not only does my mind feel settled when I'm seeking that alignment in the posture and then staying with it and breathing like we do, but once my body is aligned, it is almost like it has the opportunity to repair and heal itself too. You know, if I'm waking up and I have some sort of back strain or something like that, because it does still happen to me if I'm not careful, I go right into super hyper focus alignment, and that way my other muscles can catch up and things like that. So, are you guys turning me up? Am I not loud enough? Okay, so here's what BKS Iyengar has to say about Swadhyaya. Swa means self. Adhyaya means study or education. Education is the drawing out of the best that is within a person. Swadhyaya, therefore, is the education of the self. It is different from mere instruction, like attending a lecture, where the lecturer parades his own learning before the curiosity of his audience. When people meet for self-study, the speaker and listener are of one mind and have mutual love and respect. There's no sermonizing, and one heart speaks to another. The enabling thoughts that arise from Swadhyaya are, so to speak, taken into one's bloodstream so that they become a part of one's life and being. So when we come here together in a room and we do this yoga thing, I'm not just here to, you know, instruct. I'm here to just kind of guide you of what's been shown to me, because I have this same love and learn the same way from you guys each and every class. So first of all, thank you for helping me study myself. And thank you for being open for us doing this thing together. Just let yourself be for a few more moments here. Continue to breathe deeply without forcing the inhale or the exhale. And so after your next exhale, just blink the eyes open. All of you have done mountain pose with me, Tadasana with me. So can we lie on our backs here as if we are in a supine Tadasana? Bring your feet closer together as if you're standing on the floor. Let your palms or your hands relax, shoulder blades flat, feel the curve in the lower spine, engage the legs. So as we do our lying down pose, which will be coming up here soon, you'll be seeking Tadasana in that pose and keeping total alignment, even if it means in these postures that you don't go as deep as you normally do. We're just gonna back out of it today and explore. Go ahead and bend the knees one at a time, and then bring the knees up towards the body one at a time. You'll rock a little bit left to right. Draw circles on the ceiling with your knees, clockwise, counterclockwise. Just really start to create some heat in the pelvis and release the lower spine. Keep your knees up towards your chest and extend the arms out left and right. You're gonna have to engage the abdominal muscles here. We're gonna bring the knees up towards the chest and come into a twist. So on your next exhale, drop your knees up and off the right side of your mat. So towards the face and then to the right side of the mat, just to try to get the hips as stacked as possible. And if your shoulders are pretty close to the mat, it doesn't matter how you have your hands, but you could flip your hands up towards the ceiling and get the shoulder blades just a little bit more flat. We'll take 3 more breaths here, and we are in no rush. After that third exhale, we're gonna use our abdominals to move our legs. So slowly bring the knees back up to center towards the body. Maybe take a breath here, and then up towards the body and off the left side of the mat. And breathe. We'll take 3 more breaths here. And then engage the abdominals, bring the knees back to center, and then feet to the floor. Straighten the legs, bring the arms overhead, take a stretch. And we are going to grab our straps, our yoga belts, and move into Supta Hasta Padangusthasana. So hand to big toe pose. Supta means we're lying down on our back. Anytime you hear Supta, it's going to be supine position, which is on our back. Straighten your left leg and take your belt, put it around the ball of the right foot. Straighten that right leg, and then use your right hand to hold the strap. Your left arm is going to end up just supporting and pressing down on the left thigh. Grab up as far up on the strap as you can so your hamstrings stop you. If your leg is bent here, I want you to back out of it a little bit, maybe engage the quadriceps, and then see if you can get a little straighter. Soften the right shoulder towards the mat. and adjust as necessary, because that will also lengthen the back of the leg. And if it's too much, back out. So if we're seeking Tadasana in this pose, where can we find that? We have the left leg, which is active, like Tadasana. But what about the hips? Is there a way that we can, because right now the right hip is probably higher than the left. Is there a way that we can use the pelvic floor, maybe lift the left side of the pelvic floor, or just shift the right hip down a little bit to balance that out? And then our arms will be unbalanced, but the entire spine can be nice and long. Both shoulder blades should be flat on the mat. We are going to stay here for 3 more breaths. And then also think about the neck. If you were standing up right now, is your chin parallel to where the floor would be? Switch hands with your strap. Okay, we are not gonna move anything except the leg. Extend the right arm out to the side. The hips, they're gonna stay exactly the same. Doing that, start to move the right leg across the center line towards the left side of the body. And if your hips moved, back out of it a little bit. Try to straighten the pelvis again. Drop the shoulders towards the mat. That left leg is still active. 1 more breath here. Back to center. Bend the knee, remove the belt. Oh, geez. I'm doing this class with you tonight, all right? I'm not just gonna sit and watch. Let's do the other side. So I'm gonna feel it too. Let's see if you can set up remembering all of those guidelines. So even though the left leg is in the air, where are you pressing? Where is your knee? The left hand is grabbing as far up on the strap as it can, still allowing the shoulders to be soft towards the mat. The biggest part here really is just even out the hips. We do this pose standing up. You might even be lucky enough to get a chance to do it today. It feels like that left femur sinks back, right? 1 more breath here. Switch hands. So grab the strap with your right hand, extend the left arm. Don't move the hips or anything that you just set up. Just the leg. Really nice slow movement. You'll feel when it's time to stop. And if you're not feeling anything, try again to straighten out the hips. If you're still not feeling anything, then you're one of the lucky ones that has like a nice stretched outside of the leg. 1 more breath. Back to center, bend that knee, and release. Bounce the legs out a little bit. Bend the knees, roll to your right, come up to a seated position. Cross the legs. And actually, we're gonna cross the legs a little bit deeper here today. Just do the best that you can. Robin, you know how to do this with a block, and you do too, but I'm not sure that you need it. Have a block nearby just in case. Your right leg is going to be bent. Alexis, can you hear me okay? Is it good? Okay, okay. All right, so right knee is bent. We're going to stack the left ankle on top of the right knee and knee on top of ankle, just the best we can. If it doesn't work, or if there's too much of a space between the left knee, you're good, and the ankle, we're going to put the foot on top of the block. Good. Good? Okay. All right, fingertips to the floor. Maybe you stay right here the whole time. So even as we come forward, we're being very hyper-focused on that alignment. Trust me, it's going to save your body one day. If it, it already is in some form or fashion. If you're bringing your fingertips to the floor, imagine how you would be standing in Tadasana. Would I be standing in Tadasana with my back rounded at the top? No, I wouldn't. So I'm gonna lift the chest. The arms are gonna be a little bit, imbalanced, but the spine can be straight here. Maybe walk the fingertips or stay exactly where you are. And even the neck, think about the neck. If I'm in Tadasana, my neck is not up here, and it's not down here either. It's neutral. Keep breathing here. Flex the feet, stabilize the knee joint. Good. And then we'll just walk the hands towards the body. Inhale, come back to a seated position. Switch. Straighten the legs out first. And we'll do the other side. Maybe rotate the knees a little bit. Just really want to pay attention to the legs because we'll be in the postures, as usual, an extended period of time. Find your knee to ankle, ankle to knee, long spine, neutral neck. Walk the fingertips forward or stay here. One more breath here. And then go ahead and come back to a seated position, straighten the legs out. Get the flesh away from the sitting bones. Grab your strap, put it around the feet, top of the feet. Okay, so for me, I know when I'm doing Paschimottanasana, which is the forward fold, it means stretching the east side of the body, which is the back. My feet have a tendency to do what I do when I'm walking. The outer edges of the feet push forward first. But that's not how we stand in mountain pose, right? So we want to push the ball mounds of the big toes into the strap and activate the legs as if we were standing up in mountain pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward. Neutral neck. See if you can hold this pose, but let the breath flow freely. And maybe after the next exhale, you can hinge forward a little bit more. As long as you can keep the inner edges of the shoulder blades working, that's fine. Good. Take one more breath here. Inhale, come all the way up. It's a different stretch when we're activating the inner foot, right? At least, or it could be the opposite, but when we're making sure that the feet are balanced, sometimes there's a new part of the body that is stretching and we're like, oh, well, this makes it a little bit more difficult, but there you go. Okay, come to hands and knees. We're doing cat pose or Betalasana, and then we're gonna come up into down dog right away. So set up your hands. We're not focusing on that today. You all know how to do that safely. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze. Exhale, arch the back, drop the head completely. Go back and forth, do what feels good here. Finish out wherever you're at and come back to a neutral spine. Bring your hands one palm length forward, curl the toes under, and bring the hips up and back. You can pedal the feet here or just be still. Remember, down dog is not primarily a leg stretcher. That comes secondary. Lengthen the spine first. Don't let the knuckles lift. Inhale, look up and begin to step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the head. You can have your hands on your shins or your thighs, wherever you can sustain a flat back for a moment. And then inhale, come all the way up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. Okay. So guess where we're beginning? I just saw your shirt, that's so cute. It's a Sesame Street shirt, and it says representing the street, and has all the characters. Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers, Jesse, also Mr. Rogers fan, like really changed, I feel like they raised me, you know, like that was one of the only healthy outlets I had in my life. I'm very grateful for the PBS. Let's go into Tadasana. We won't use the block for Tadasana today. Let's just use our bodies. See where you are with this pose without me giving you any instruction on it. Start with your feet and work your way all the way up. I know you hear Jennifer's voice in the back of your head sometimes, so tap into that right now. The one thing that I will focus on is where your weight is shifted, because even I have a tendency to do this. Sometimes I'll shift my body forward. I don't know if you can see from this angle, even from your angle or their angle. If I'm shifting forward, you'll see that this bone right here, our trochanter, which is on the outside of the hip, it's basically over the front of my foot. It's not over the ankle. So I need to actually shift my hips back. It's gonna lift my toes and make me feel like I'm gonna fall forward, but I'm not. I'll be okay. Now it's over the ankle. So now I need to straighten up the spine. I just keep the legs and lift. Then you feel like a robot. But do I look like a robot? I look like I'm just standing up tall, right? I guess if I were to walk like that. Take another breath here, and then we're gonna get things cooking. Feel where your hips are, feel where your spine is, feel where your chin is, your feet. And then go ahead and release. Okay. Grab your strap. Good, good. Sometimes this doesn't work out as great as I want it to because straps are all different lengths, but it looks like we all have long enough straps here. We're gonna actually just start off in Warrior 3, okay? And let me show you how, because it takes a little maneuvering. You're gonna actually step on your strap, make sure that the straps are even, and then you're gonna take your right foot and just step over, okay? So you see where this is going? We set ourselves up for length and alignment, and then we begin our Warrior 3, keeping the Tadasana leg and spine. Let your strap help you. Your toes here stay pointing down. And just notice where your neck is, your feet, all of these things. Good. Keep the hips as even as possible. Check the weight in the standing foot, deepen the femur. If you come out of it, just try it again. Yep, and so Robin, it looks like you're not able to grab the strap with both hands, right? It's not long enough?
I think I can.
Yeah, I think it is. Nice. I wasn't gonna tell you when to come out of it. You're like 5 minutes later, can I do this? Yeah, your strap is long enough. One strap in each hand. Yep, and then the rest of you can do the other side. Go ahead and bring your right foot forward, yes. And now keep the foot and arms where they are and just start to lift the leg. It doesn't have to lift very high. Once you start to lose that Tadasana alignment, then you can come out, you can back out of it. Nice. And the strap is sometimes helpful for getting the leg up there too. Keep the arms straight, so grab onto the strap, like catch the slack on the strap. That is so much strength. Yeah. So like imagine because if I'm like this in my Warrior 3, which is, there's nothing wrong with getting stronger, really. I'm just because of what we're focusing on tonight. If I'm like this in my Warrior 3, that means I'm like this in my Tadasana. You know what I mean? So that's why the strap is there to help us actually get into the pose with the alignment. Was that helpful? Okay. Let's do it in the other direction. Strap goes around the right foot, ball of the foot. Remember, we just did this lying down. So grab the strap with your right hand. Your left hand can go on the waist this time. Before we even start, check your standing foot. My feet have a tendency to go out. So even when I'm doing balancing poses, my foot wants to go out, but that's not where it should be. It should be straight.
Micro bend at all?
Micro bend in the knee is good, yeah. So a lot of the time, there's not going to be much said for the toe going out, so we can get a little bit more balance, so we can get into the pose better. But when we think about it, if you look at where your knee is lined up with your foot when that's happening, and then you're putting your whole body weight on that knee, even if you're micro bending, that's going to be damaging over time. So line up the leg. Our left leg is in Tadasana. Our right leg is in Tadasana. It's really, I don't care how high you lift it. Keep the right femur sinking back so the back can stay straight. Just do the best you can. Yep, because even if you lift your foot an inch off the floor, it can still be in alignment. Good. And don't forget to breathe. Yeah. We should call this alignment class total burnout of the muscles. Alignment burnout. And then do the other leg when you're ready. Hyper focus on these types of things is why I can still teach yoga and not have a broken body. I'm telling you, there's plenty of yoga teachers that have had hip replacements, knee replacements. Yeah, use the wall. Use the wall. And don't apologize for asking for help.
I noticed it on this side, it's on my ankle that, like,
Is it like a deep ache? Or you're talking about the lifted leg or the standing? Yeah, yeah. Good. All right, whenever you want to come out of it, shake the legs out a little bit. Let's use this strap to stretch out the arms too. So we're going to move on to triangle next. Separate the feet. Put the strap behind your back. Grab it, knuckles facing forward. Inhale, lengthen. Strong legs. Exhale, fold. Arms up and over. We don't want them to go all the way over. So if they do, you'll need to grab tighter on the belt. The tighter your shoulders are, the wider you'll be. The wider your hands will be away from each other. You guys look amazing here. Yes. Keep breathing. Go to your edge with the shoulders, but not beyond that. All right, legs are strong, abdominals are strong. Press the feet, inhale, come all the way up. Bring the feet towards each other. Now we're gonna take the strap in front. Belt is such a better word. I need to start learning to say belt instead of strap. I mean, it is either, but still. All right, so I know for some, like, this is a really weird one because if you don't keep your arms straight in the circle and reach back, you might not get a stretch in the arms. So just try your best. This is a weird one, but keep Tadasana legs, okay? Knees are micro bent, your hips are gonna move a little bit, but try to keep the feet all the way even. Turn to the right, swing down, turn to the left, and you're gonna lead with the right hand to come up for that first circle because we're going clockwise. 3 big circles this way. I'm gonna hit myself in the face with that metal part. I know it. So we're opening up the shoulders and the hips here. Once we get to round 3, we're gonna face to the left, lead with the right hand going down, twist to the right, lead with the left hand coming up. Yeah. 2 more times. And release. Strap goes down, block comes up. That's like a really big twist in the hips and the lower back for sure. We're gonna do triangle pose. So I wanted to show you guys first because when you're in it, it's a little bit more difficult. So when I'm in my triangle, you know, I'm gonna set myself up here. My block is gonna go on the outside of the leg, even if I can go all the way to the floor, right? Trying to get it so you can both see. Okay. I'm gonna pay attention to how straight my toes are, knees, all of that stuff. But the biggest part of this that I want you to pay attention to is when you are down here and here, and maybe you can't see it too well with my baggy shirt, but a lot of the times our top ribs here are sticking up. And that would mean that my Tadasana is like this. So we're gonna soften the top ribs and straighten the spine in triangle pose, okay? So go ahead, we're gonna lead with the right foot first. Set up your block. Set up your legs. Good. Knee over the second and third toe. If it's not happening on its own, micro bend the knee, rotate the thigh out, and then straighten. My little ball on my microphone fell off. Okay. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, reach as far forward as you can, and then drop the right hand. Stack that left shoulder over the right. Extend the left arm. Feel your top ribs and kind of just give them a push down. And that length will go through the crown of the head. I'm going to come see you guys. Good. Because even if you're not totally parallel to the floor, you can still have the Tadasana. Robin, your legs can go a little bit wider. Yeah. Good, good. Jesse, bring your left shoulder back a little bit. Yes. Okay, if you want to go further down, you can. Take one more breath here. Press the feet, inhale, come up. And then just bring the feet back together. We're not going to go right over to the other side, so you can give your legs a break. Robin, do you have 2 blocks by any chance?
No.
No? Okay. That's fine. That's totally fine.
Okay.
Sometimes that's what it takes to get that total alignment. Hi, Anna. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. Separate the feet. Rotate the left toes out. Block comes to the outside, shin, calf muscle area. Remember, in order to get that spine to do what you're asking it to do, the back toes have to be in a little bit. They have to be internally rotated. Let's take the left fingers and press on that left groin, just to lengthen the left leg. Both quadriceps are engaged. Reach with the left hand as far as you can, get the spine long, and then drop the hand down. Right shoulder stacks on top of the left, right fingertips up. And then soften the top ribs. Anna, that's a great triangle pose. Good job. And breathe here. Your front foot, you're pressing the ball mound of the big toe to keep deepening that left groin. What can you do to micro adjust this pose to find your Tadasana spine? Can you lengthen the bottom ribs? One more breath here. Press the feet and pop yourself back up. Bring the feet back together. Shake the legs out a little bit. How are we doing? Okay? All right. No answer. That means that you guys are good. Okay. Here we go with warrior 1. Come to the front of your mat. So if I'm bringing my left leg back and I have, you know, too much curve in the lower spine or whatnot, if I were to bring this back to, say I'm like this, I bring this back to Tadasana, that means I'm like this. My femurs are pushing forward. You probably can't see that too much up there, but can you see that, Amber? Okay. So I don't want you guys to be standing upright yet. I want you to focus on sinking the femurs back, pressing the ball mounds of the big toes, pressing the outer edge of the back foot. Bring your fingers to the hip creases and make sure they stay soft as you bend into the front knee. Feel your pelvis, make sure it's nice and straight. Can you keep that left groin soft as you begin to sit up? If you sit up and that left groin is starting to get tight, Sink it back, lengthen the spine. Sink it back, lengthen the spine. And then add the arms. Did you feel that? Okay. Go ahead and bring the arms up. Bring them all the way up for this one. Good. And the front knee is bent, but you guys know not beyond the ankle. You should be able to see your big toe, your sparkling big toes. Good. One more breath here. Legs are really strong. Exhale back to Tadasana. That was really good. So when we're focusing on things like femurs, not, or, you know, a lot of us will get into the ligaments, which are not supposed to stretch. The ligaments are not supposed to stretch. Once they get stretched out, that's how they are. They're not repairable unless you do surgery. So when we're sinking the femurs back, we're really protecting that. Let's do the other side. Begin in Tadasana and just bring that right foot back. Keep your hips facing forward. If you feel like you can take a wider stance, take a wider stance, as long as you're keeping the hips facing forward. This will definitely reveal if you have tight psoas, this pose. Go ahead and bend the front knee. Yep, knee over ankle. And feel the right groin. Before you even add the arm, feel the right groin. And if that hip is popping out, it's going to be tight. So sink it back. That might put some compression in the lower back. So drop the tailbone. Sink back. Play that dance all the way, sitting up the spine. And then add the arms. Can you press the outer edge of the back foot and let the glutes help you and see if you can internally rotate that right leg a little bit more? Because as you internally rotate that right leg, the femur sinks deeper. And then bend the front knee a little bit more because it's going to take you out of the knee. Just keep playing that dance. This is not a static pose. You're going to keep moving, lift the pelvic floors, all the bandhas, all of that stuff. Take one more breath. Exhale back to Tadasana. Good. We're going to move a little bit. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up. Exhale, take it back to child's pose. 5 breaths. We're going to rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look up. Come to hands and knees. Lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Grab your right foot. Bring it towards the body. Let's stretch the front of the legs. We're just taking 3 breaths here, so make them good. Exhale, release. Other side. We need some sort of back bend in our practice today. Good. 3 breaths. Go ahead and release. Good. Back to hands and knees. Cross at the ankles. Have a seat and lie down. Let the spine settle for a moment. Bend the knees when you're ready. And then you can hug the knees and come into happy baby from here. Grab the insides of the legs or the bottoms of the feet and let the hips open. I did a lot of internal rotation stuff today. So really open the hips, rock back and forth. Should feel pretty good. Go ahead and bring the feet back together and drop the feet to the mat. Straighten the legs, bring the arms overhead and take a long stretch. When you're ready, you can bring the arms down and get ready for your Shavasana. And when you begin to settle, just kind of do a little review of your practice today without attaching anything to it. Without attaching emotions or words or judgment. Just, I mean, I guess you'll have to use words, but how did it make you feel to really slow down that much and ask your body to focus on maybe some new things. In my experience, even though our quote from Mr. Iyengar talks about alignment in the body equals alignment in the mind, for a very long time, it just feels like this is a lot of work. Alignment in the body equals a lot of muscular work. But once you feel yourself getting stronger, which all of you have been, you get to a point in a posture where it begins to feel effortless and you can just stay there and breathe, even when it is challenging. Everything just feels stacked. Boop, boop, boop. Makes that noise too. On your next exhale, release. Feel the muscles soften. Be sure the eyes are closed. And just be still for the next few moments.